Hello everyone and welcome back to a Gran Turismo video. We're in a Porsche Carrera RS, and if you haven't already guessed or haven't seen already, yes, the Nordschleife. You're going to get it, folks. You're finally getting it here. So we're in the Porsche 911 RS CSS Sports Hard Tyres. I've put the difficulty as hard because it is very long. It's a long lap and very easy to make a mistake and invalidate a lap. Gold estimate around 742. It could drop even lower than that if I'm brutally honest with you. We have yet to see some of the green hell specialists go out there, but that is a guess for now. If you enjoy this video, as always, do give it a like and do subscribe to the channel. Before we jump in, let me just say there won't be a pad lap today or a full chase cam lap. This video is already long at 17 minutes with just this guide here. We're going to head towards turn 1 with this guide that you never thought you'd see on the channel. What you're looking for there is the orange painted barrier on the right hand side, okay? That is my brake mark. I'm actually braking just before it. You can see I've just started braking right now in this car. Now, one of the key things with this car is stability, and that's one thing we're going to focus on in this entire lap. It's more about braking a little bit earlier and being stable through a corner than absolutely trying to yeet it into a corner, and keep that in mind each and every time I approach a corner. Heading down here then, we're looking on the left hand side there for the 2 kilometer sign there, okay? And what we're going to do is just lift off and turn into this corner. Now, during the corner, mid-corner, you are going to want to start accelerating a little bit to create some stability over the rear end, because obviously that's where all the weight is. And as you start to accelerate, the rear will then plant itself into the tyres, which will plant itself into the tarmac, and it will grip. We're going to get to the first serious braking zone now. So on the right-hand side, you got these triangles. Now, it doesn't look very obvious because I've highlighted it and dimmed the background. But as you race here, it's actually quite obvious, that one there. That is my brake marker. Okay, so just as that leaves the edge of my screen is when I hit the brakes. You can see what it's like here on chase cam. And as I hit the brakes here, I'm going to come into here and I drop the third gear. Now, the key for this is I want to brake in a straight line as much as I can. I'll explain what to do if not otherwise. So as I go through this left, I lift off a little bit. I dab the brakes. And again, notice here, I'm just dabbing the brakes, letting the car do its thing. I'm not trying to accelerate straight away. Critically, again, it's stability there. So it's just dab the brakes, turn in, straighten up, turn, then start accelerating. Just think about that in your methodology. On the right side there, we've got another triangle in the barrier. Good braking marker for this right-hander. This one, very critical to get right in terms of stability, okay? So I come into here. I'm letting the car do its thing. I start accelerating. I'm going to straighten up and cut the grass, okay? I'm going to try and straighten up on the exit as well as I change to 4th gear. I've just realized I said methodology as if it's like a degree or some bachelor, I don't know, masters or something. But no, I'm just talking about driving here. Right, as we get to this point here, there's no, markers. You potentially could use the orange barrier up ahead, but essentially it's the crest of the hill here. So I'm going to dab the brakes, and critically, as I go through this corner, I don't want to drop below 112 miles an hour. That's what I'm aiming for here, okay? So as I go into this corner, I let the car roll a little bit. As I get to 112, I start accelerating. I have done it at 113. I've done one at 114, but 112 is sort of my go-to target there in terms of speed. You can then settle down here, rev the car to the limit as you change gear, and just relax here as we head to one of the hardest corners on the circuit, I would say. This left-hander. So you got 2 signs here, okay? You got the one on the right, and then you have one in the middle right there. And in between these, there is a triangle there if you really want to use it, but in between these is where you brake. Now, what I really want you to do is hit the brakes and stay in 6th gear. If you go to 5th, it's going to unsettle the car a little bit, and you may understeer off. So grab the brakes, and notice that I'm letting the car roll through the corner. I said accelerate a little bit here. Don't feel you have to do that. And at the end of the curb on the left-hand side is when I'm going to hit the brakes. Now, let me explain a braking technique called overlaying, okay? So you're going to go hard on the brakes here. I want you to slightly tap the throttle just a little bit to stop oversteer as you do this. If you do that, the car will start to understeer. Notice how I'm doing that a little bit, only a tiny bit. It's like 1% throttle, but it stabilizes the car. It forces understeer, stops oversteer, and it's very well worth doing. So you're going hard on the brakes, a slight tap of the throttle, and the car will straighten up. You need to brake in a straight line in this car. If you do not brake in a straight line, you're going to go off because it will have braking inefficiencies because the car is sliding. Right, going through the dip here, foxhole coming up then. And on the left-hand side, we have these trees. The last tree there, before it opens up and goes to a marshal, can be your brake marker. I don't actually use that. I'm just pointing it out as a brake marker. And what I want to do here is hit the brakes. And I want to oversteer a tiny bit, but not too much because we're going to a slight left. You can't see the apex here, but I turn into it. And then as we get into here, overlaying again as I go onto the brakes here. Now, as you went a bit too deep there, and I'm having to recover. So normally, that, what I would call a zebra crossing on the road, is my braking marker for this. But because I'm so tight to the corner, I'm having to brake earlier. So if you're more towards the right-hand side, aim towards that zebra crossing is what I'm going to call it, and then hit the brakes. You're going to drop to 2nd gear for this corner, okay? That's just to get a bit of rotation. Now, as we accelerate, we're going to turn right and go into 3rd gear. You want 3rd gear on exit here. Remember, there are some gear delays as you change gear in this car. It's an older car, it's a classic car, so there are some gear delays. So you want to prepare the gear where possible. third has quite a lot of pull lower down. As we head towards this fast left-hander, on the right-hand side there, you can see the sun glare there where you've got like a darker shade and it goes to a lighter shade. The perfect brake marker for this left-hander. You are looking for around 110 miles an hour as you go into this corner. You will slide a little bit as well, so just make sure you don't slide too much into this corner. Notice here then, I'm going on the throttle straight away to try and stabilize that. And as we go through this corner, we've got this sort of concrete bit on the right-hand side. Before I get to the end of it, I'm already hitting the brakes. You can see I'm just about to go on the brakes right. In fact, I'm on the brakes right now, should I say. And we're going to brake in a straight line once again. Slow the car down now, okay? You don't want to run too deep into this corner. It will compromise you more than anything. So I overslow the car here because I want to avoid going over that curb there. If you go over it, it'll force such instability in the car. You may invalidate your lap by hitting the barrier or cutting it too much. The last sign on the left-hand side, that is your brake marker for this right-hander. You don't have to go to fourth gear like I have. If you are struggling, just stay in third gear. Let it hit the rev limiter and then go on the brakes, okay? You don't have to go to fourth gear on that accelerating. As we come into here then, keep it nice and tight there. Trying to keep it stable as we accelerate out the corner. I do lift a little bit on exit there just to avoid understeering off because the car does suffer with that. Basically what happens is you accelerate, the front lifts and you get understeer. On the right side there, we've got a Marshall. Brilliant Marshall, this one. He's put in the exact right place here. We're lifting off and we're going to turn in. Sometimes you want to stab the brakes here because it's all about trying to straight line this corner as best as you can and you want to slow the car down. But notice I just lifted there as I go through this right and then I'm going to go on the brakes here. I'm looking to slow the car down here on hit, miss, hiss, hit or whatever the heck this corner's called. I can't remember. I'm not a Nürburgring specialist. But you go through that corner. It's quite stable, to be honest with you. You just brake, turn in and let the car roll. As we get to this bit here, you got that sunshine there in the center. Because time variation isn't on here, it's always in the same place there. You can see it better on chase cam here. That is your brake marker. Once again, you're going to overlay here. Hard on the brakes, a slight tap of the throttle. You can just see it there. Then hard on the brakes again in a straight line. And then we trail brake through the corner there where we want a bit of rotation just to get out the corner. So up to third gear we go. We can breathe a sigh of relief here as we continue on now. So, just to quickly, before we look at the lavatory there, which is your brake marker for this left-hander, I just want to say, if you are struggling to get gold, focus on that section from the start to that point only, and forget the rest of it. Just focus on this bit here, okay? Your lap times will come. That's what I did to get my time down from a 2:40 down to what this lap time is here. So, we're breaking that lavatory there, as I said, and we're going to go through this corner. Don't go on the concrete on the right-hand side there. It's a bit too wide, to be honest with you. This car doesn't come back quick enough. On the right side there, you've got the no speed limit sign, or the end of the shed if you want to use that. Maybe Jim is in there racing something around Nürburgring like he used to do. So literally on the right side there, you brake at those markers and you turn in. Now this corner is slightly cambered, okay? So you really want to get on the inside of this corner as best as you can and accelerate through it. It's going uphill as well. So literally you'll have a bit more grip and a bit less understeer as you go through there. And now we're going to continue on towards a fast right-hander. This right-hander, very hard to get right. And this is a corner I got wrong a lot when I was doing this today. So, on the right side there, we've got a dark shade of grey into a lighter shade of grey on the Armco, which you can use. Alternatively, you got the sign up ahead in the distance. Don't brake at it, but use it as a distance reference, okay? Now, I'm about to go on the brakes here because I want to slow the car down. I just want to keep a nice, stable car here. If I go a bit too deep, the car's going to get all weird and oversteery. But I'm letting the car roll a little bit, then I see the exit, and then I accelerate out of the corner. Once again, I can breathe a sigh of relief there. We've done pretty much nearly half the circuit now. Half the circuit to go. We can relax a little bit as we go on this straight. We are climbing uphill a little bit here, so stay in fifth gear. Do not go to fifth gear at all. And what we're going to do, we get into the sunshine here, and we've got the concrete on the right side. So you got the start of the concrete, which is what I would use as a brake marker, but you got the lighter concrete in the distance. It's thicker as well. You can see that. You can try and brake there and turn in, but it's very risky to do. However, if you're going for a rank 1 time, it's the place I would do. But I'm doing the start of the concrete there. I turn into here. Once again, I'm trying to maintain 110 miles an hour in 4th gear. I just run wide a little bit there, having to come back on here, up into 5th gear. Into this right-hander we go. Don't go too far to the left there when you're going towards this right. You'll just go off the circuit from understeer from touching the grass. Now, we've just passed some writing on the track, which you can use as a brake marker, but I was using the curb ahead as my brake marker. Originally, I was using the graphics on the track, but the curb is better. Brake, and as you do this, you're overlaying. So hit the brakes hard and go and overlay a little bit. Now, I didn't do it this time because I was bang on straight. If you're not remotely straight, you're going downhill a little bit, you will oversteer and get loads of just bad braking. So overlay if you need to. It will benefit you massively. Head towards the carousel then on the left-hand side. It's the last tree on the left-hand side. Nice easy brake marker for this. Now, let me explain how to do the carousel in this Porsche. So we're going to go in there after the tree just leaves the screen. We're going to go hard on the brakes and we're going to go in second gear. You can see the tree there on that left-hand side a bit clearer here. So I'm going to drop down to second gear here as we go in. Now, as we get about halfway around, we're going to start to accelerate. And then we're going to go to third gear because on exit, we're just going to get into the rev range where the power is and we can accelerate out without the gear delay shift and a bit of stability as well because we're not at the top end of second gear. Keep that in mind. Through this left we go, slight lift there, nothing major. And now we prepare for what I like about this circuit. This part of the circuit I love. So, on the right side there, just ahead of you, you've got the start of the curb. That is your brake marker. Now, on some laps, I dropped to third gear. In some, I stayed in fourth gear. It just depended how I felt, really, to be honest with you. Both gears can be used on these corners, okay? So, we're in fourth gear on this particular lap as we go through here. Slight right there, slight lift there. And then as we get to that orange painted barrier on the right side, we're going to hit the brakes. And then this next corner is the third gear corner. So, you're doing it third gear irrespective at this moment in time, okay? So, the previous corners, fourth or third, whichever you feel is best for you. At this point here, I'm dropping to third gear now for this right-hander. It's a slower corner. I'm trying to maintain 70 miles an hour. I go a tiny bit too deep there, only just so, but I bring it back very nicely. Now, remember what I said about this car, it's stability. So I'm going to lift here, let the car roll a little bit, tap the brakes. Again, look, I'm not accelerating a lot here unless I'm in a straight line. And then I do that. I'm going half throttle occasionally to keep the rear in check there because obviously if I'm accelerating just a tiny bit, there's more weight over the rear tires. It settles the car a little bit. That's what I'm doing there. Now, on the left-hand side, I've just highlighted the marshal there, who's about to disappear with the marker, but you can still see him there. Literally, that's my brake marker for this right-hander. Really chuck the car into this corner, okay, and let the car roll through it. We accelerate on exit, get over towards the right-hand side as quick as possible, and we're looking for that Yokohama sign on the right-hand side. We're braking just before that. You can see I've just started braking right now. But that is my reference. It's a distance reference, essentially. So I know it's roughly around there each and every lap. So I could brake here and turn in. Now, this isn't the perfect lap by any stretch of the imagination. So you will see mistakes here. As you can see there, I've just gone a little bit too deep. I need to bring it back. So I've lost a little bit of time there. Now, on the left-hand side, the curb's gone to concrete. Literally, the end of the concrete, once again, is a brake marker. So I'm braking before that. You can see I'm doing that right now on the screen. Once again, I'm braking here and I'm going to turn into where YouTube corner is going to be in a second. Obviously, this is where all the video footage you see. So we get on the inside here. We're going to go towards the outside. It's a bit more of an exit curb there than we're used to. And then on the right side here for YouTube corner. Where's the last one, YouTube corner? This whole section's YouTube area. Let's call it that. So on the right side there, to start the curb, that's my brake marker for this right-hander. Very easy corners to get wrong here because you think you can go aggressive because it's going uphill. You can't really do that. So I turn in here, let the car roll a little bit, and when I'm settled, I accelerate through. Lots of exit runoff there that I can use. Over towards the right hand side we go. The last tree on the left is your brake marker for this left-hander. Now, you're going to cut the circuit a little bit on the exit of this left-hander if you've never done the Nordschleife before. So what we're going to do here then, the last tree on the left that I've just talked about, you can see it there, a bit harder to see on trace cam, but it is there. We slow the car down, we turn in, and we start accelerating early, we're staying in third gear, and we're going to cut towards the right-hand side there. Notice I'm using all the curb. I can cut more than that though, I just didn't cut a lot on this lap in particular for some odd reason. As we go through here, it's all flat until we get to this point here, where we're at the crest of the hill. I've highlighted as it dips, because we want to brake before this. The reason for that, if you're accelerating and you hit this, the front's going to lift and you're going to fly off. Brake, the front dives down there. It means it's going to hit the tarmac, stay on the tarmac a bit more. The weight's over the front, it drops, then you will survive through here. Now, I try and maintain 90 miles an hour. I just don't quite do it on this particular lap as I continue on through here. Now, you're going to want to lift in bits of the circuit here, a bit on occasion here, okay? I'm trying to get my words out now because you need to stabilize the car. So I'm going to cut a little bit here as well. Again, straight line only. If I'm cutting that at all and I'm turning, I'm going to spin off. And we're going to head to quite a nice braking zone, this one. I do enjoy this corner in particular. So on the right side there, you got that runoff there. I use that as my brake marker. Originally, I was actually using the concrete on the left-hand side, but I felt I could get more aggressive. That's what I started doing right here. And you can see that on the right-hand side, okay? So as we come into here, hard on the brakes, fourth gear, turn in, release, let the car roll through here. Accelerate a tiny bit. If you are struggling, don't necessarily have to accelerate there. Just let the car roll through. And as we get to this point here, you've got the last tree on the left, or alternatively, use the concrete as a bit of a distance reference for you, okay? This corner I love in this car. It's so nice. Okay, so I'm slowing the car down in third gear now. I'm chucking it in, let the car roll a little bit. Once I know I can make the exit, I accelerate. I got a bit of oversteer there, but not too much, so it wasn't too bad there. On the right side there, you notice the arm coat is silver with a dark patch right there. Really good brake marker for the mini carousel here. Now, we brake here. We're going to stay out wide a little bit longer than normal, and then we're going to chuck it in because that's the best way to do this mini carousel. If you turn in too early, you're going to come off too early and end up in the barriers. Notice how tight we cut it there just to make sure we don't run off too much. If you even touch the grass on the outside, you are going for a spin. up here then, on the right hand side there, the sunshine helping us out massively. You've got a light bit that goes to dark. That is a lovely brake marker for this corner. I want you to stay in 4th gear for this, okay? Stay in 4th gear. You want the car to be stable. 4th gear is a nice gear for this corner. So I'm hitting the brakes and I'm going to turn in. Okay, so this is what I'm doing right now as I accelerate through here. And I'm going to lift a little bit more because I want to get on the inside to make sure I don't understeer off. Trying to maintain around 100 miles an hour as we get onto the Dottinghurst straight then. I'm going to fast forward this bit, of course, because we can relax here as we start to think about the last corner, which is very, very hard corner to do now. So what we're going to do, slow it down nicely here. We are flat out at this moment in time. If you struggle, start braking here. Just dab of the brake a little bit and come down a gear. However, I'm trying to get a bit quicker time here. So I've waited towards the end of the curve there. Now you notice I've just gone on the brakes and I'm going to overlay again quite significantly here as well. The weight shifting all over the place, it will start to oversteer, but instead I'm going to go on the brakes and just dab the throttle. Notice the braking looks different there. That's because of replay and non-replay. And again, I've gone in a bit aggressive there, but the overlay helped me out massively. 2nd gear through there, up to 3rd gear. And on the left-hand side there, you got the grass that goes to concrete or tarmac or whatever it is on the left-hand side. That is your brake marker for this final corner. I dropped 2nd gear for this one, and then I'm going to upshift to 3rd very quickly. I found that actually quite nice and stable. I don't know why it was so stable on this corner, but it was. So that is what I'm going to show you here. 2nd gear, 3rd gear, and I can accelerate right out of there. I'm going to head towards the line where I think it's a 736, which isn't too bad, to be honest with you. I'm not a Nürburgring specialist in the slightest. I was pretty pleased with that lap. I definitely have 35s, 34s in me, not a problem. But I do suspect these lap times are going to get below 730 by the Green Hill specialists. Now, apologies for no pad lap and chase cam lap, but this video would be like half an hour, 40 minutes long, and I know not all of you like those, but it will be back next time. If you enjoyed this video, as always, do give it a like and do subscribe to the channel. I do hope this video is of help. As I say, I'm not a specialist at the Green Hill, but hopefully those tips and tricks do help you out massively. 2 companies help me out massively as well, GT Media and Fanatec. Check out the links in the description and use code Tidgney at checkout, of course. 2 videos there, including last week's time trial as well. A big thank you for watching as always, and I really do hope to see you in another video live stream again very soon.